Meanwhile, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth on Thursday named the operation Narco-Terrorists in the Western Hemisphere that the Trump administration is going after. It's called Operation Southern Spear. Joining us for insight is Kervin Aucoin, former lead intelligence and surveillance and reconnaissance coordinator for the U.S. Army. Good to have you with us today, Kervin. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I think this is a very important discussion.
It sure is. Love to get your insights. What is the scope of this operation and what makes it different from previous counter-narcotics operations in the region?
Yeah, well, first of all, what we've seen now, right, is the USS Gerald Ford is now in the Caribbean, what is called US SOUTHCOM, or the United States Southern Command. And so, what is Operation Southern Spear? These terms are direct terms; they are tangible terms. So, a lot of this is a funding, but it is an operational control situation here. This gives U.S. Southcom and the commanders of U.S. Southcom operational control of the USS Gerald Ford, that carrier strike group that is coming in, and now decisions can be made based off of those commanders in the sea, on the ground, within Latin America, and so they can make the decisions. They can make the decisions on what is going to happen within Venezuela.
And we're all watching this closely, as we just reported earlier. There's murmurings of potential action within Venezuela, but particularly for this operation, how does intelligence gathering actually work in a mission like this? How do you find those smugglers or threats in the ocean?
Oh, well, that's a fantastic question, and I say it's a fantastic question because it's a lot of my background. So, how does this work from a targeting perspective, which is what we're talking about here, targeting narco terrorists, which you're going to want to do whenever you are targeting very quickly, and you are trying to go to what we call the F3EA cycle, which is find, fix, finish, exploit, and analyze. You need to get to that find portion very quickly. So you are going to find very low level individuals who are smuggling drugs. And that's what is happening right now. And what we talk about when we fix is what is happening when we understand where they are traveling. So these boats that are traveling across the Caribbean, you fix them based off of the intelligence, whether that is, and a lot of it is signals intelligence, which is at a very high classification. I can't get into a lot of the information that's going on within that, but as a SIGINT analyst, I was in the Army a SIGINT analyst. This is seen by many commanders as the premier type of intelligence. If you have signals intelligence on a group, on these narco terrorists, and you go to strike them, that is seen as the premier fix on these individuals. So you've got the find, the fix, and then the finish is what we're seeing with these strikes on these boats. So that's how we're really getting quickly into these strikes on these narco terrorist boats, and that's that entire process from start to finish.
And what are the primary challenges in intelligence gaps or, targeting these groups? That we have seen many more of them being targeted, but is there anything missing there currently?
Yeah, you're always going to have gaps. Intelligence gaps happen. I would say this is very similar to what I did from a counter-terrorist perspective. So in gathering that information, are there mistakes that are going to happen? Unfortunately, yes. Do we know that that has happened right now? I would say we don't have confirmation that strikes have hit anyone other than perceived narco terrorists, but there are definitely gaps within this, and so that doesn't mean that, oh, well, the United States just goes and does whatever they want and they go to strike. You have to be very specific. And I've been in these situations from a counterterrorist perspective where we had the information, we had SIGINT, signals intelligence, HUMINT confirming on the ground, but there were civilians outside, collateral civilians outside of that, and we were not allowed to strike on that. So I will say the U.S. military, even this administration, is very careful on what they are going to do because you do not want to make a mistake and cause a global conflict because of that.
Well, it's great to get your insights, especially as the administration ramps up this operation. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more strikes in the future. Kervin Aucoin, thank you so much for joining us this Sunday.
Thank you so much for having me. And as always, stay safe out there.